Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Whatever time you're watching this. So, I just wanted to talk today about, again, about the SNAP EBT benefits. It's an interesting topic. My last video got some views on it. So, I want to talk who I feel bad for. Like, who's really going to be affected from this? That really, it hurts my heart. That's going to be affected from this. So, first and foremost, the children. 2, the disabled people that aren't able to work. And 3, the hardworking people that are working every day, trying to do their best, and they're still struggling. And the businesses that also rely on people with SNAP benefits to be able to come and spend their money at their businesses or their benefits, which in turn gives money to the business. So those are the people I feel for. Those people are in the same boat. They're in the same boat that all the rest of us are in. Everybody else in America right now. I mean, there's other countries that's dealing with their own issues. Like, something's going on with Japan. I don't know what's going on. I'll do some research. I'll make a video about that later. But, man, I'm just thinking like 40 plus million Americans. And we're just talking about the conversations that I just see people talking about is whose fault it is. It's the Democrats, it's the Republicans. But I am seeing a couple people that are coming to terms with maybe it's both of them. They're working together. Excuse me. Oh, I got a coach you. They come to the conclusion that maybe it's both of them working together. And that's kind of why I want to make this video as well, because I kind of want to like voice my opinion, which that's what I do always. We should all be entitled to our own opinion. But I strongly feel like it's both parties. It is both parties. Because I'm seeing articles and reports about Trump basically sending $40 billion to Argentina. A lot of people are pissed off about that. A lot of people are mad about that. And I'm also seeing Democrats are keeping their paychecks. They don't care. They don't care as long as they're getting paid, as long as it doesn't affect them directly. They don't care either. And I'm talking about the ones in the government, not we the people, not the ones on the ground level, the ones that they don't care about. I'm talking about them not caring, because their paycheck's still going to be rolling, whether we like it or not. And I also just had a question to think, what's happening with the money from the SNAP benefits? Because I believe it's $8 billion per like year or something for all the Americans that need it. Well, not all, but the majority of the Americans that actually need it. What are they doing with that money? Why are they sending $40 billion to Argentina when it was always supposed to be America first? That was the promise. No matter what president, what candidate, what party, they're supposed to put America first. And I feel like we as the people, we need to be able to team up and all be on one accord and start to kind of realize these people don't care about us. Either way it goes, either side, they don't care. Because whenever the Democrats were in office, when Biden was in office, Inflation. Trump's in office. Inflation. One said, "Oh, we need to raise this to cover the last years or whatever what the previous administration did." This administration saying the last administration did this, so we have to keep it here. But at first it was also, we're gonna get that down day one. We're gonna cut these. We're gonna make all this. We're gonna do all this. They didn't say we're gonna cut all these jobs for federal workers. They didn't say we're gonna cut all these benefits. We didn't say we're gonna cut everybody off. That was the trick. That was the lie. And a lot of people probably do feel very betrayed. But the point is, we all of us have been betrayed by both parties. So it's just like, we can vote, yeah, but it's pretty much like pick your poison. You know, it's just picking your poison. You want the crocodile or do you want the snake, the venomous snake? Which one? It doesn't matter. You're gonna end up dead either way, right? So it just has me thinking, like, in the meantime, what are they doing with all this money? And also, I want to think about, there's new prisons, new infrastructures being built and ready to be built. Some upwards to $1 billion for the prison. $1.2 billion for another prison is what I've seen. So what are they preparing for? Mass incarcerations? Maybe. May just be wishful thinking, but I don't see how the government that's supposed to put America first is building new prisons. And then they just basically made it illegal for the homeless encampment things. And I don't know if that's a state thing or if it's a federal thing, but they've also pretty much, it's the start of making it illegal to be homeless. That's pretty much what that is. And it's like, well, it's not like those people are just gonna wake up in a bed, wake up in a home. So where those people go? Where are those homeless people gonna go? The people that they're saying, we're doing this because we're tired of seeing homeless people die and being pulled out of these camps and stuff for drug overdoses and things of that nature, right? But do we actually have a number of how many of these funds are allocated to going towards drug programs and maybe food banks and maybe shelters? Do we actually have a number? Or do we think about that? And I also seen they're getting $20 million from drug bust and millions of dollars from drug bust. And this is every, I can't even tell you how often they're getting, but they do a lot of drug. It seems like they're doing a lot of drug bust and drug raids, and that money goes to the government. So when it's seized from the dealers that Trump said he's just gonna just kill from now on, that has to be illegal. But when it's seized from the drug dealers, that money goes to the government. And yeah, they say, they say some of it goes to drug programs, some of it goes to this and that, but where does that money actually go? Is there a way that we can see, like, what they're doing with that money? Because if it's to keep drug dealers off the American streets, right, and they're saving us, but it seems as if they're always talking about getting drugs off the streets. We got this many millions over here for this. We got that many millions over here for drugs, but it's always seeming like there's always drugs available. There's always drugs available. But the money is what I'm talking about. Where is that money going to? Like, exactly where is it going to? And then why are we sending billions and billions of dollars to Argentina? And why are we spending billions of dollars creating new prisons? But the government is in the middle of a shutdown. There's going to be millions, tens, 20s, 30s, and 40s of millions of Americans, children, disabled, hardworking, starving, feeling like they got to do what they got to do. You're pushing people to want to commit crime, which I don't agree with. But I also don't agree that we should be struggling, or they should be faced with the thoughts that they need to commit crimes to survive. Right? And it's like, okay, we're gonna push the illegal immigrants out of the country, right? Which I agree, I want them to be able to have the proper documentation to be able to live amongst Americans and become citizens. But it's also, on that same hand, how are they going to do that with these new rules and these new changes and these new laws? And excuse me, we got all of these companies actually firing real people, real workers, right? Or getting replaced by artificial intelligence. Now, let me ask you a question. If all these people are getting replaced by artificial intelligence, who's going to buy the stuff? Who's going to buy the stuff that these machines are producing? Because where's the money going to come from? If everybody's job is getting replaced by artificial intelligence in the next 10, 15 years, some now, currently, where is this money going to? And where's the money coming from to the people to be able to buy, to afford anything? And let alone when you're getting the money, right? Or you're not getting the money to afford these new groceries, like the bioengineered food and things like that. It's like, who is really thinking of America first here? Because you got billionaires such as Bill Gates bioengineering products or solutions that could potentially be harmful and deadly to you. And I say potentially because I'm not sure, because at this point everything is potentially deadly, right? So is that America first? Or do they care about Americans? Or they just care about the money that they can make off the backs of hardworking people, and then replace those people? And then what happens? What happens when we're all out here struggling? What happens when the streets are getting overran because people, they're hangry? and I know it's funny, but it's not. Because when people are hungry, they get angry. That's why it's even a thing, hangry, because people are starving. Their ribs are touching their backs. And you, as a politician, and you as a public figure, and you as a rich billionaire, are going to start looking like a 6-course meal to those people that you claim that you care about. So I just want to know, what are we doing with this drug money? What are we doing with the benefit money while this government shut down? And then when a state wants to stand up for its people and say, we want to create food banks and we want to do this, but the government says, no, we won't help you fund it, but the states can fund it. But you won't be paid back if you decide to fund it. So it's like, do they care? Really, do they really care? Ask yourself that question. At this point in time, do they care? While we're reaching the end of this month, how much do they care about you? Because I'm pretty sure that Republicans and Democrats are on SNAP benefits, EBT food stamps. And then you're going to have people saying, well, this is what you voted for. Well, this is what you voted for. But the problem is, if we was to vote for the other side or vote for that other side, it makes no difference because we were still in inflation the whole time Biden was in office. Inflation. And Trump's only been in office for a year or less than a year. Inflation. It's actually went up. The unemployment rate has went up. So, I remember specifically in the beginning of his administrations, in the first month, they said we created 130,000 new jobs. But you got people on social media, you got people in real life crying because they can't find a job. It's unbelievable to think that somebody can put in 100, let alone 1,000. I've even seen upwards to 10,000. I don't know how true that is. Applications with nothing. They may get a call back. They may get a round of interviews, but they're not actually getting hired. See, that's the issue, because to the investors of the companies and the businesses and stuff, yes, interviews look great. The actual showing them on a data scale that we got people coming in. We know we're doing this, we're doing that, to inflate the numbers to make it look like you're not just using those funds for your own personal use or whatever. It looks good to the people that are investing in that business that think the business is scaling higher and higher, but in reality, people aren't getting hired. In reality, companies like Amazon are firing 600,000 people. Companies like Walmart are saying, you know what, we're gonna pause hiring for 3 years so we can incorporate AI technology. We got trucks already driving themselves. So I'm just thinking, what's the grand plan here? What's the big scheme here? And how does this benefit America? And how does this benefit those hardworking people or those kids that not even thinking about working at this point because they're kids, which they should be able to be kids. They're not thinking about that. And the disabled people that may have worked or may have never been able to work, or may have worked or may have even served the country, and now they're a disabled veteran, and it's America first, right? It's quite funny when you really sit back and you look at the big picture, when these people want to say America first. Oh, I love Americans. I love this. I love that. But you're sending the American money, the American food, so you can go do deals with stuff that's not in America, countries that aren't America. Make it make sense. That's all I got to say, man. I love you guys. I'm out.